So this is what it will look like from the outside. It's right here, and ta-da! Isn't it cool? Hi everyone, my name is Alex from My Creative Room, and today I am taking over the Love Notions YouTube channel to talk to you about one of my favorite winter fall weather patterns that Love Notion has in its pattern gallery, which also happens to be today's Feature Friday. And the pattern that I'm talking about is the Whistler sweater and hoodie. I absolutely love this pattern. I absolutely adore the shape that it gives me, the silhouette, and the number of options that are already included in the pattern. The Whistler is today's Feature Friday, which means you can get this pattern today, only until midnight, for only $5, which is an amazing deal because it's way more than 50% off the regular price. So today is the day you have to add the Whistler to your pattern gallery and start sewing one as soon as possible. And I can tell you, you will love this, the design of the shirt, not only because of the flattering silhouette, but also the plethora of options included in the pattern. The Whistler pattern includes 3 different lengths, which is the shirt length that I'm wearing right now. It also comes in a tunic length, and it also includes a dress length. I absolutely love the dress. You know me, I love my dresses. So that's probably my favorite one. It also comes in 2 different finishes for the bottom hem. One is a regular folded hem, which is the one that I'm wearing right now, but it also includes a bandit that cinches this a little bit for a more sportier look. And one of the unique things about the Whistler pattern, besides this amazing silhouette, is the fact that it includes a gorgeous cowl with a beautiful technique to make it. So it has a cowl neckline, and it also includes a hood. I love the hood option. I did the cowl because of I didn't have enough fabric to make the hood, but the hood is actually my preferred option. The cowl is a lot more elegant in my opinion than the hood, but I mean, whichever suits you, that's the one you're gonna be making it. It also comes with these optional buttons. Well, they're not optional per se. I made them optional because I actually sewed this shut, so they're not functional buttons, they're just decorative. But you can add actual buttonholes and but you don't have to. The opening is big enough that you do not need the buttons to be functional. It has, the sleeves have a cuff, which make it perfect for winter. No cold air is going to be breezing through this and hitting your arms. I love a good cuff option. And in true Love Notions pattern style, it comes with all kinds of formats for the pattern itself. It includes A4 format for our non-US friends. It includes a letter format. It includes A0 format to print at a copy shop. And also includes a projector file, which is again my preferred method of cutting patterns. All included, layers, no trim pages, the works. Love Notion does it best when it comes to options and ease of sewing and size inclusivity. Which brings me to the sizes for the Whistler. It goes from sizes extra small all the way to 5X. I do highly recommend choosing the size for the Whistler based on the upper bust. The upper bust ranges from 31 inches all the way to 55, so there's plenty of opportunity to find your perfect size. So choose based on the upper bust and then do any kind of blending that you may need. Keep in mind, it is a relaxed fit. You can see it is, so this is my actual waist. So it does have, this is for anyone who is interested. This is a size M, so size medium, and I am 5'5". So it is a relaxed fit. You won't be needing to be blending too much. Let's say your bust puts you in a small, but your waist is closer to a medium. I wouldn't worry about blending too much. So keep that in mind. Oh, and another thing that I love about the Whistler pattern is the pockets that are included. These are inseam pockets that you don't even know they're there. And they're big enough that you can put things in, but not too big that they would be dripping and drooping outside of your shirt when you wear it. So I love, love, love this. And you cannot tell me this is not a flattering silhouette. Even though it's a loose fitting and relaxed fitting shirt, it does give you somewhat of a waist, especially if you're using contrasting fabrics. The Whistler pattern is designed for medium to heavyweight fabrics with at least a 25% stretch. I do recommend using sweater knits, a French terries, or pontes would also work great for this. Micro fleece. As long as it has 25% stretch, it would work great. Keep in mind, the thicker the fabric you'll be using, you might need to size up if the fabric is too thick. I used for this particular one, it is a cotton spandex, but it's a custom cotton spandex and it's heavier weight and more stable than your regular non-custom cotton lycra, because there is cotton lycra and there is cotton lycra. So this one, I felt comfortable using it for the Whistler because it is on the heavier side of the cotton lycra. So keep that in mind also. Now that we've done a brief overview of the pattern itself, I hope I convinced you that it is a must-have in your pattern gallery. And let me tell you, not just in your pattern gallery, it is a must-have pattern that I would like you to sew. I want you to promise me that you're gonna get it today on the Feature Friday price, which is again only $5. But not only that, you're going to sew it and you're going to share it, and you're going to show us your amazing Whistler hoodies or sweaters. So today I wanted to show you how to create a smartwatch opening for your sleeves. If you look at the sleeves of the Whistler, they are pretty fitted, right? So let's say you get a notification on your watch and you want to look at it, you would have to really pull this, and again, it's a pretty stable cotton lycra that I've used. Really pull it to look at your notification, right? Well, not with the hack that I'm going to show you and teach you how to do today. And I promise you, it is easy. It may look more complicated than it is, but it is not. So with the hack that I'm going to show you today, as you can see, the sleeves, nothing different about my sleeve. Well, let's say you got a notification on your watch. So you can just open it and see it. And the cuff is right here, nothing uncomfortable. Let's say you were, I don't know, working out, running, and you want to see the watch at all time, you can actually put this here and it will never actually get covered. So, much easier way to access your smartwatch information than using the pull up of the cuff method that can be pretty difficult with tight fitting cuffs. So this is what I'm going to show you today, how easy it is to just have that watch opening that is pretty much invisible. You don't even know it's there. Let's create a quick and easy smartwatch hack for your Whistler. And this is a hack that you can apply to your favorite shirts going forward. So I will give you the step-by-step on how to achieve the look for the Whistler, but you can use the same step-by-steps for any other Love Notions shirts that you would like to have this hack apply to. I do recommend adding this, doing this to a shirt that's not very fitted. So something that's like skin tight will probably not work so well with this hack. So anything that's a little relaxed, it doesn't have to be a baggy fit, but there needs to be some positive ease in the sleeves for this to be working and for you to be able to wear this comfortably. So what I'm going to show you today is going to be applied to the left arm, because this is where I wear my watch. I know there's a few of you out there, including my youngest son, that I don't understand, because he's right-handed, but he does wear his Apple Watch on his right hand. So I don't know, it's his preference. So I will be showing you this hack for the left arm, for the left sleeve. So everything that I'm doing right now, if you want to do it to the right, make sure you reverse it. I did try to make it, because there were some trials and errors when I was doing the tutorial and doing all the testing. I did like 5 or 6 sleeves. There's a pile of 5 or 6 sleeves there to find the perfect and at the same time the easiest way to do it, so it easily translates from left to right, right to left. And I do think I have the perfect one right now. So for the purpose of this video, I will be doing the left arm. To my pattern piece, I usually, and including for the Whistler, I do use a projector file, but I find it easier for just this hack to have the sleeve printed. So the left arm will be the one that has the right marking, the front sleeve marking on the front. So I know this will be my left arm. So this is the piece that I'm going to be using. So I make sure that when I cut my fabric, I do use the fabric right side up to make sure that it is the correct arm that I intend to have the hack on. So I printed my pattern sleeve. All you need for this is one extra piece, one extra pattern piece that is very easy to create. So what you will want to create is simply a rectangle piece. I actually use the bottom of my pattern piece to save on paper. That's why you can see it here. It's very easy. So you need to create yourself an extra rectangle. If you don't want to make it out of paper, you don't even have to. You just have to know the measurements. But for the purpose of this video, I wanted to make sure that I show you a pattern piece, the extra pattern piece that you'll need. So you will need to cut yourself one rectangle that is 3 inches height, 3 inches, by whatever the sleeve opening is at the bottom. So that will vary from size to size. In my case, this is a size M and this is a 10 inch. So my rectangle is 10 by 3. You need one rectangle piece that is 10 by 3. Next step, you want to make some markings on the rectangle and on the bottom of the sleeve. So you will want to find the center. So for that, I simply fold it in half, the pattern piece, and I mark the center with a little red dot right here at the top. And I did the same thing for the sleeve. So I fold it in half, found the center, and marked it with a red dot right here. So now, using your ruler, you want to mark 5 inches, which will be your opening for the watch. And I can tell you that I've tried an opening that was 3.5, 4, 6, and the ideal opening for my preference was 5 inches. I do have a store-bought shirt that has this design, and I find that very uncomfortable to actually look at my watch because the opening is very small, and I do have a 44mm one. So if you wear smaller watches, it might work, but for me, I'd rather have a bigger opening and be more comfortable. So if you prefer, and you know you wear very small watches and you don't want the opening very big, you can definitely make it smaller. But after all my trials and errors, I can tell you that this was the ideal opening, the 5 inches. So from that marking, I'm going to be marking 2.5 inches each way. 2.5. So this will give me total of 5 inches. That's 2.5 on each side. Okay. So you have this is 5 inches, and this is where we'll be snipping in the fabric when we cut the fabric. And we're going to be doing the exact same thing on the extra piece that we've created. So from the center, you want to mark 5 inches by doing 2.5 on each side. So that is your extra bottom piece. Okay, so that's pretty much all the measurements you have to do and all the extra pattern pieces, if you want to call this rectangle an extra pattern piece, with your paper pattern. So up next, we have to go ahead and cut our fabric. So let me go and bring my fabric for the Whistler, and we'll cut the sleeve together. So I brought my fabric. I will be using for this Whistler cotton spandex fabric. I do find it's one of my favorite bases for this pattern, and it's pretty chilly right now where I am, so it's going to work just fine. I do want to make a mention when we're cutting this. My fabric is not directional, it's pretty tossed. If you are using a directional fabric, you want to make sure that when you cut your bottom, you use the correct direction. So if this piece is facing the right way, make sure that this one is too. Don't switch them up, because you will be seeing part of this piece on the bottom of the sleeve. I mean, it's just going to be an inch and a quarter visible, not much, but if you care about that, keep that in mind if you're using directional fabric. As always with any patterns, directional fabric will take a little bit of extra thinking ahead. So let's go ahead and cut this, and I'm going to be sewing first the sleeve of the hat, and then you'll be following the pattern and sewing the Whistler as directed in the tutorial. I'll just be doing the sleeve for the purpose of this video, but I'll of course show you. You've already seen how this looks in the first part of this video. Okay, so right side up. Again, you want to make sure that this is the right side up, so the left arm has the front towards the left. Okay. And when you're cutting the other sleeve, your right sleeve, you can flip the pattern or flip the fabric, so you get a mirror piece. But right now I'm just cutting the left. I'm also cutting the marking for the front and the back. Okay, so what you want to make sure you do right now is add your markings, the 5-inch markings on the bottom. You don't want to snip the center. All you want to do is snip these markings, then measure the 5-inch, and you don't want to go more than 1/4 of an inch. So either use a pair of scissors that cut very well, or use your rotary cutter if you can be very precise. So I'm going to go ahead and just for extra precaution, I'll mark 1/4 of an inch from the bottom where the snips are. Okay, so this is 1/4 of an inch. So I don't go further than that. Okay. When I snip, and I will use my scissors to make the snip. 1/4 of an inch. Okay, that's all the markings you need. So this is how it will look like. With the snips, you can see one here and one here. You see it on each side, So a quarter and a quarter. Okay, now we need to cut the extra bottom piece with the piece that I have here. Again, if this was a directional print and you cared what it will look like, make sure you place the fabric piece the same way you had your sleeve. So don't be placing it like, even though it's a rectangle, so it's the same size, make sure that you do the snips on the right spots. So don't put it upside down, make sure you put it the correct way. Again, only if you're using directional fabric. If you're not, it doesn't really matter. Okay, so this is the extra bottom piece, and I'm going to do the same thing with my markings here at the top. So let me measure a quarter of an inch to be sure, because I know myself, I can get snip happy sometimes. So this is a quarter of an inch. And I'm going to go ahead and snip. No more than that. So you see right here at the top there's one snip and another snip right here. Okay? And I'm also going to be cutting for this tutorial the cuff. So, oh, I haven't mentioned it yet, but this hack applies to the cuff option. So I have my cuff piece right here. And obviously for the actual whistler you will need two of them. But for this tutorial, I'm just going to use one for. So you should have right now one cuff, one sleeve, and one extra pattern piece. This is all you need to create the smartwatch opening. One last marking that I want to do before we move on to sewing is on the back of your sleeve. So flip it so the wrong side is up. You want to measure 3 inches from the bottom and mark it, and I do recommend marking it with a fabric marker or chalk or something that will disappear and will not transfer on the front. So I'm using my 3-inch ruler and I'm just marking right here a line. Okay. Let's see. You see, so from the bottom, I've marked a line that is 3 inches at the top. That's all the marking we have to do right now. Let's move to the sewing machine and the serger. For this hack, I'll only be using my serger and my sewing machine. If you do not have a serger, no worries, you can do the steps with an overlock function on your sewing machine, or simply just a zigzag stitch, or not even. But let's move on and we'll get more into details. We will start the sewing steps by finishing with the serger the openings that we just cut. So on both the extra bottom piece and the sleeve, we have that 5-inch opening, and we want to finish that raw edge of just that opening with the serger. So I'm just opening where I put my where I cut my 1/4 inch, putting my needles right where that starts, and just finishing the raw edge. As best as you can. If you do not have a serger for these steps, you can either use a zigzag stitch or the overlock stitch on your sewing machine, or you can leave it raw. We are using a knit, so it's not going to unravel, and with cotton lycra even more so. So even if you're not finishing this will be on the inside, so it's not the end of the world if you cannot finish this. So this is what it will look like with the sleeve. This is the bottom of the sleeve, and this is the bottom of the top piece. So let's go ahead and move to the sewing machine, and we're going to hem that piece with the sewing machine. So what you want to do, you want to fold that part that you just finished with the serger. You want to fold it that 1/4 of an inch that the serger did, and just hem it. I will use white thread so it's easier to see. Obviously you will want to match your thread with the fabric. I don't care because it's going to be on the inside. I'd rather you see what I'm talking about. So I'm going to be using a 3 millimeter length stitch and a 3.8 tension. You can go even longer than that. And again, I'm just stitching the part that we finished with the serger. So it will look something like this. And from the inside, it's folded. We'll do the same thing for the extra bottom piece. We're going to fold it on the inside. So wrong sides together. And hem that opening. This is what it will look like. Okay, and from the inside. So what you want to do next, you want to take your sleeve and with the right sides together, you want to match the bottom opening and the extra bottom piece like so. So right sides together, pin in place. If you have any waviness from the fabric being stitched there to hem it, you want to give it a little press with some steam to make it flat again. So you want to hem it like so. And we will not be sewing the opening. We will just be sewing these ends together, and I'll do that with my serger. And again, I'm sewing this with a 1/4 of an inch, just the serger stitch width. And I do like to tie my end piece right here. on the inside here, just for extra stability. You can also weave it in if you want, but again, it's on the inside of the shirt, so no stressing too much. Alright, you want to do the same thing on the other side, so on this side. Let's go ahead and tie this up. And if you do hear the cat in the background, that is Peanut. He is fine. He hates it that I have my door closed at the office. He is a star. He wants to be on camera. So we've tied it up. Let's cut the extra. So now you should have the opening right here, and then these sides together. So next step, what you want to do is press towards this bottom piece here. So you want to bring your sleeve, fold it to meet that line you drew. So let me show you that again. So right now you have it like this. You want to bring the stitch part, fold it like this, and I'll just put a couple of pins to show you what it looks like, but then I will definitely be going to my sewing machine, to my iron, and pressing it properly. But I'll put a few pins just to show you how it should look like after you press it. Or before you press it. So I've brought the stitching to the line that I just made. So on the right side you will see it like this, like so. He made it in through the bathroom door. That's why the meowing stopped. So this is what it looks like, and this is what it looks like from the back. I'm going to go ahead and take this to the iron, which means this will disappear because the lining will disappear from the iron. But I wanted to show you a close-up before, and I will be right back with it pressed. So I went ahead and pressed it. You can see from the front this is pressed with a lot of steam. It's a pretty thick cotton spandex, and this is what it looks like on the back. So for the next step, what we want to do, we want to go ahead with the sewing machine and do 2 tack stitches right here, right where the opening ends and begins. You want to tack through all the layers. So make sure that if it's important to you, you match your bobbin thread of your sewing machine to the fabric of the sleeve. So mine is such a rainbow color that I really don't care. I do think I have white again for the purpose of this video to show you what it looks like, but that's what we're going to do next before we stitch the sleeve together. So you want to make sure you do some tacks right here. So maybe a 1/4 inch stitch just to keep this in place, and then we can remove the pins. I left the pins there because it makes it easier for me to tack it, but we'll remove them after. So I'm going to do again about a 1/4 inch through all the layers. So the bobbin thread will show on the front of your sleeve. Keep that in mind if it matters to you. And same thing on the other side. Okay, we can now remove the pins. We're okay to remove the pins. And snip the extra threads on both sides. Okay, so with the white thread you'll be able to see it better. So this is what it will look like from the front. You see those two tacks that I just did with the white thread? Again, I don't care, it's my hoodie, but if you do care, you probably don't want white thread on a very colorful top, but for the purpose of this video, I think it makes it easier to see. So now you have that opening right here, and these are sewn together. Next step, you want to fold your sleeve right sides together like this. So now you'll be creating the actual sleeve, and I'm going to put a few clips along the arm inside seam. Make sure you match the armpit. And we'll be sewing this sleeve in the round. I find that it's easier for me to do that. If you want to sew it flat, you can stop here, then follow the steps of the pattern and add the cuff later. I found it that when I did all the trial and error testing for the tutorial beforehand, adding the cuff right now made it a lot easier because it holds everything in place. Even though you pressed it here, it will tend to want to open up that fold. So having the cuff and the sleeve already sewn makes it a lot easier. So something that I did want to mention and show you and tell you that it's absolutely okay. The sleeve at the bottom is not straight, right? It's like this on the bottom of the pattern. And we added a rectangle. So there will be, unavoidably, a little corner here of extra fabric. You see it? Like here? That's okay. It's minimal. It creates minimal difference between the two sleeves. So what I will do when I stitch the sleeve along this side, so I will do that on the serger. So when I stitch along this edge, I will simply snip it with the serger blades. It's less than 1/4 of an inch, so it is okay. You just get rid of it either by cutting it right now with scissors, or if you want to save your blades, which is probably what I should be doing, I can just snip it right with my scissors right here. It is totally normal because I wanted this tutorial to be extra easy for everyone. So I made that extra bottom piece to be a rectangle instead of doing the shape of the sleeve and making it a lot more complicated where it would matter if it's a left arm or a right arm. It's just easier to snip this extra little piece. And I can tell you it's not going to make a difference in the fit. So right now, just go ahead and stitch your arm. I'll do that with my serger. So at the serger, we're going to stitch with the 3/8 of an inch seam allowance that's included in the pattern. Make sure that you go very slow where the extra piece folded is, because now, instead of having 2 layers of fabric right there, you have 4. So it will be a little more difficult for your serger, so go extra slow on that area. And then you can speed your way through the rest. There you go. This is what it looks like. The sleeve is sewn. So take your cuff piece right now and we'll just add the cuff according to the pattern tutorial. So I just give it a press and I'm opening it and folding it right sides together along the side. This is part of the actual pattern, is not a hack. This you'll be doing this for both the left and the right arm. The hack is pretty much done. I just wanted to add the sleeve so you can see it as it will look on you. I wanted to add the cuff to finish the whole sleeve. But the hack itself is pretty much completed. So now with the right sides together, I'm going to put the cuff in the arm opening. And stitch it with the sleeve. Because of the arm opening being so small, I like to stitch from the inside. Your sleeve is done. This is what it will look like from the inside. And let me turn it the right side out. This, obviously you'll give it a good press, promise. So this is what it will look like from the outside. And you can see there is the watch opening. I'll briefly put it here just so you see it, but I will show it to you obviously when with the completed shirt. But the cuff is right here, and ta-da! Isn't it cool? So now this covers it. And it looks like nothing happened. I love this hack, especially if you don't, because this is also a long cuff and I love my long cuffs, but because it's a long cuff and if you want to, and it's pretty tight, it's harder to get to see your watch, right? Well, not anymore. The cuff stays put, keeps my arm warm, and I can still see. Just by using the opening, I can still look at my watch. I love it. And it was not difficult at all. One extra piece and probably 3 extra steps in the tutorial, and you got yourself a nice and easy hack. All you have left to do right now is complete your Whistler according to the tutorial, and enjoy your new hack and show it off to all your friends. Look what I can do. This is a cool trick. I hope you enjoyed this easy hack. As I was mentioning earlier, you can use this for other patterns as well, not just the Whistler, as long as there's a cuff and it's not a super fitted shirt. You can use the same technique for your favorite Love Notions top or sleeved patterns. Don't forget to grab your Whistler pattern while it is on a Feature Friday price and sew it. And I'm so excited and I can't wait to see which option you'll be making. And if you're going to be adding the smartwatch hack, then I've included in today's video. Thank you so much for watching me today. Thank you, Love Notions, for giving me this opportunity to share this hack with you. And I will see you guys in my next one. Bye!